Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, my guy is in the building. One of the first with it, what I say, number 20-something? 20-something artist on the show when we first started it. He's back. His new album, While We're Here, drops May 18th.
Yes, sir.
My brother, Marlon Craft in the building. What's up, my guy?
Good to see you always, bro.
Man, always good to see you. We always just happen to like run into each other like very, not random occasions. Like we have your shows that I pop out at, but then we run into each other like back at like Rolling Loud and shit like that.
Yeah.
Always good to see you, my man.
Always, bro. Always a pleasure, man. It's been awesome watching your ascension, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hell yeah.
And it's crazy because like the day that we're recording this, so we actually looked at the date that I dropped the first interview we did. It was May 1st, 2019. I think the week of Funhouse Mirror dropping, the week of the Funhouse Mirror show at SOBs. And then now, the day that we're recording this is May 9th.
Crazy, bro.
Crazy.
Crazy.
We didn't even plan that. We did not plan this shit at all. We didn't even. I didn't even know that we did that shit in May. I thought we did that shit in like February or March. But here we are, 3 years later, a bunch of albums later.
Yeah. A whole pandemic later.
A whole pandemic later. It's kind of crazy. It feels like no time has passed, but mad time has passed at the same time.
Facts.
It's weird.
Facts. Yeah, man. It's strange times.
How you feeling, man? New album coming out. By the time you guys see this, it's the week the album comes out. I'm putting this out the week of. But
Dope.
what type of space are you in right now?
I'm feeling good, yo. I was feeling kind of burnt out for a second. Like, I've been just going so fucking crazy, you know, for the last, like, several years, like, throughout the whole pandemic. And, you know, I'd just be, like, one-man machining the shit with a couple close people around me. So I've been trying to really be consistent. And then this album ended up just taking a lot more out of me than I expected to get everything done. But now I'm in a cool place where, like, we're right there. It's about to drop. Everything's just kind of like most of the work is done. So I'm starting to like relax a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited, bro.
Enjoy the fruits of the labor.
Trying to, bro. It's hard these days because then it's like a lot more labor to be done. But you know, like I'm definitely trying to take these moments to enjoy and just being here, like just getting back outside and doing interviews, seeing you people that I fuck with. It's just cool because we was inside for so long, not really doing shit. So
right.
You know?
And so okay, so you spoke about the burnt out stuff, which is actually kind of not funny, but like I took a tweet that you tweeted the other day because I'm like I want to talk about this with him because you mentioned it. You said the shit is not easy. I make it look that way, but this album damn near killed me, and I don't think there's another rapper out that manages themselves to the extent that I do. Just know your support over here goes so far because I'm hanging by a fucking thread to do this my way. I didn't mean to laugh. It's just the way that you tweeted it. I was like, damn, Marlon.
Yeah, you know, I really try to not be on no social media like bullshit and just really use it as a vehicle for my art. Every now and then, like you'll catch like a 1 a.m. like drunken like frustration tweet out of me. And that was definitely that. But yeah, it does like, it's just like, you know, I have a couple close people that help me out and work with me on my team, and I don't want to downplay like that. But I do, and I know there's a lot of artists that work really crazy hard on their own shit. And it wasn't really about on some like, I work harder than everybody else. But for me personally, it's like, I've been just going so hard. I do the business, I run the company. Like I basically manage myself, like I'm doing all this stuff. And it's exhausting. Like it's really, really, really exhausting. And I just always been on some like, never wanted to be like putting up a front that we make it look so easy and it's this and it's that, you know. So that was just an authentic moment of just me feeling like a little frustrated and whatever. But it was cool too to like see the people like support and care and that all the work's not in vain and we just keep it moving.
Right.
You know?
Do you feel like at some point you need to build out that type of team? Because I feel like, you know, you can't hold the entire burden on yourself for so long. I'm also speaking to myself a little bit with this one, but
yeah.
But like, I'm starting to feel that way, right? I need to build a bigger team because as you know, as the brands grow, you got to at some point. So like, you know, I feel like it's about to be that time for you too, bro.
Yeah, it just can't be no compromise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm just very meticulous in particular, and also, you know, sometimes you bring people in and it can create more work if there's not harmony. Right. So, you know, I just, it depends, you know, like I'm not willing to, because there is a bliss and a joy and a freedom that I feel in my life because I know I'm in control of my own destiny. I don't really answer to anybody. And that the people that I do work with are on the same page as me in terms of like the way that we see the artistry in the world to a certain extent and have the vision for my career. So it's like, I definitely think it's probably time for me to expand for sure and get some help in certain ways, but it just has to be like the type of help that's really gonna add value, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You wanna make sure it's right.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
exactly.
But you need, honestly, bro, you need it. You don't need to be killing yourself over the next album, bro. Because honestly, like I know how stressed, especially because it's art. You know what I'm saying? Like getting the art, the cover together, the tracks, to make sure everything's perfect. I know how you are, so I'm like, I definitely understand where you're coming from it. But I feel like, you know, it's good. It's good. Everybody's gonna love this shit, and then you're gonna be like, all right, I'm never doing it like this again.
yeah. Well, I kind of I joke with my friends that I'm like working for the sabbatical. Like I'm not trying to put out 4 projects a year, bro, forever, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I understand and see how the game works, and that if I want to do this myself and like do it a certain way and own it and really run it, that I have to be consistent for a period of time. But my goal is to like kind of get over that mountaintop to where I could really exhale then and be like, all right, I got the streaming money coming in. I got the fan base that's there. They're not leaving me. I can take some time and travel the world and experiment and like do different things and really work on my masterpiece, you know, like whatever that masterpiece is going to be. So I'm definitely trying to make it there. I'm not like going crazy with no end in sight. But yeah, in the interim, we just here, we putting out all this music, we staying consistent, trying not to sacrifice no quality, and just giving people all the different sides and parts of me as I grow as an artist, so that they'll always have that to reflect on, you know.
I love that. So what is the significance of While We're Here mean for you?
Well, I don't want to give too much away about the album before, like, without people listening to it, but essentially, like, it's a very the album has kind of like apocalyptic undertones, and it's definitely not a light album. It's a very dense album. I'm talking about kind of what it's like to come of age and grow and try to make that next step into like really becoming like a full-fledged adult that's comfortable with themselves and that understands what they want to do in the world and all these things, while looking at the world around us, you know, just kind of crashing down in all these different types of ways and wrestling the ascension of like my own career. I'm sure you probably felt this way too the last couple of years. Things start going better for you in terms of the drive and the ambition and the achievements that you want to see accomplished, but then you're looking outside at the world and it's like at odds with that. And so it's like, how do you deal with that, and what do we do? And so While We're Here, you know, I feel like you have to listen to the whole album to really get the meaning. But it kind of plays with that tension.
It's like an interesting, like, adult coming of age in a way too. I feel like,
Yeah.
Is that also what you're trying to get at? Like,
Yeah.
because it's like, I mean, it's like a second coming of age. It's like, you know, you're trying to like figure everything out while things are getting better, but everything is progressively getting worse.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
It's the this is fine meme with the dog and then the fire.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I feel like it is.
Yeah,
Like, you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, everything's going great, but meanwhile, everything's being set on fire around you.
Exactly. And I think like the album is really singular in that like it's all these different feelings, stories, emotions that are personal to me. But because it's so personal and singular, it then becomes kind of universal. Like I think a lot of people can relate to feeling that way, because a lot of us are in this kind of predicament and feeling this way. And I also just felt like, you know, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I felt an artistic imperative to like make this album and make it and say it in this way, because these are the times that we're in right now, and that's just how I'm feeling, you know? Right.
Yeah. I gotta say though, on a positive note, I really I went to your Thanksgiving show, and I really hope you do these every year. Because I didn't go to any before this one, right? And if there was one before this one, I'm gonna be honest, bro, I can't remember. The pandemic took that from me.
Nah, never. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, because like I went there. And you know, shout out Calvin in the building. Calvin was there. Calvin was there. Kenny was there. And a lot of people who I never met were there, but like I got introduced to a lot of people while I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I made a couple friends, a couple connections while I was at that show, and it really kind of did feel like a real Thanksgiving show. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like you presented an aesthetic with it, right, of what people can expect, and then like I went into it, and I didn't know if that aesthetic was gonna like translate to the show and whatever, but like I thought it was so dope because it was at the Bowery, right?
Yeah.
Bowery. Yeah. And the coolest part about it was like, you know, you got the bar downstairs, so everybody's drinking, hanging out, having a good time, like a Thanksgiving, like before the food hits, and then like everybody goes upstairs for your show, and that's like the main course. And I thought that was really fire. And then even after that, like a lot of us went out around the Lower East Side. We all I forgot what bar we ended up at, but we all ended up at the same place. And I thought that was, I don't know, I just felt like that whole progression was really dope. of how
That
night
makes
turned
me
out.
very happy. Like that's what I try to do with these New York shows, just like create a night, create memories. That's what the city's about, and that's what I feel like when we talk about like losing culture in the city, it's like it's harder and harder to create those memories where you feel like you met people, you experienced culture, you experienced art, you know, there was some flavor to it, there was some adventure. So I'm really happy to hear that. It was definitely like tricky to pull off. Like Omicron wave had just hit like 2
Right.
days prior, so a lot of people were like, now we not coming, and it was just an awkward thing, and coming out of it, figuring out how I wanted to do it. But it felt so good to be up rocking that stage again, bro. Like it felt amazing. And now we doing the tour, man, in June. So you definitely got to come back. We doing Music
Yeah.
Hall Williamsburg.
Dope.
And Static's gonna do the opening set.
Dope.
And yeah, so
When's
create
the
some
New
more
York show?
memories. June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Yeah,
June-
Thursday,
get your tickets.
summer. Yeah, get your tickets.
And
Facts.
it's gonna be hot.
Some like Thursday night, summer in the city. Like, you know, I'm trying to really have some fun, man. Like, that's gonna be fun.
No,
for sure.
I'm actually very excited for that. And so we're also going overseas for the first time.
Yes. September, my first ever Europe tour. We got like the East Coast and Midwest run in June, and then we got the Europe tour in September, and then we're working on the West Coast dates right now for later in the fall. So trying to get back out there and just dip my toe in the water. And like the whole plan before the pandemic we were trying to do 60 shows in 2020.
Wow.
And then everything just like, you know, closed. So I've been blessed that we figured out a business model and a career and a life without the touring side of it, which is crazy because we always intended to make the touring such a big part of it. But now it's time to get back out there and do what I love to do, man. Performing is nothing like it, bro. You hear people, like, see them, like, you could sit and look at your, like, Spotify for artist page, whatever.
Right.
But, like, when you see the people singing the words back to you and all that shit, it's like, it's trite. Like, I know a lot of artists say it, but it's facts.
How do you even decide where to go in Europe? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, how do you determine? Like, I'm sure in America there's like an easy way to determine where your fans are, like where the bulk of your fans are.
Yeah.
But like, how do you determine what cities to go to and where to go play in overseas?
You go where the offers are. Like, I got a booking agent in Europe, so she just set up that run, and
Nice.
like she has a lot of experience. So it was like first run. This is where you want to hit these major markets. And also we do look at the numbers that are available to us. You know, like you could see on certain back end of shit, like where you got fans at and stuff like that. But I learned in the States, bro, like you gotta go touch road. You gotta like go see people. You gotta go do a show with 40 people if that's what it takes to break a market, and
Right,
then
of
come
course.
back and do it. So I'm just like, let's go. Like we gotta do it over there, just like we did it here. And I'm just like happy. Like I'm really excited for the experience to go and see Europe. Like I've always just wanted to travel the world and see different places, experience that. So I've basically been in New York for like 2 years, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to get out there.
Right. I haven't really left New York that much either.
Yeah, bro.
I haven't really left New York. Yeah. So do you see like the crazy in our eyes? Like that's from being here for like the last 2.5 years stuck in the pandemic.
I feel like we have had a kind of in a way like a parallel thing go on like over the last few since this is the right time for us to be linking, bro. Because this like you said, it's 3 years and we were both in a very like early but promising space.
Right.
And now we've like done a ton of work like to get to a place where we're more comfortably situated but still like starving to get to
Where
that
we-
next
yeah,
place
the next
where
level.
we're really trying to get to. So yeah, it's cool. That's cool.
No, it definitely is cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, Havoc.
Yeah.
Dope.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
How does Havoc from Mobb Deep
Yeah.
get involved on the project?
So what's crazy about that is that like I've been rapping on Mobb Deep beats. Like if dudes or people know me from like way back, my career essentially started going viral in my room rapping on the Survival of the Fittest beat. Even before that, the first thing that even got me like any attention, even in my neighborhood, was I rapped on the Shook Ones beat and did a little video. But that Survival of the Fittest beat, which I think was like 2016 or 2017, was like on World Star and was like what went crazy viral, and that kind of like put me in a little bit of the underground consciousness. And then like so to now have that be the lead single off the album produced by him is crazy. He just started showing me love on the gram. I don't know how he got put on. He started seeing some stuff on the gram. We like chopped it up in like the DMs or whatever. And then I was like, you know, send me a beat. He sent me one beat. To this day, that's the only Havoc beat that like I've ever been sent. Like he sent me one beat. And I was like, yo, this is like crazy. and I just did it. And I actually did that. That was in 2020. Like I recorded
that was
that
a
in
little
20.
older.
I recorded that in 2020, and I just was kind of sitting on it, like waiting for the right time. And then we finished it with the horns and all that stuff. So crazy, yeah.
And that was the only beat he ever sent you.
That's the only beat, bro. And I mean,
he's like, I guess I got no choice. I have to use the beat.
yeah, but it was crazy. And he'd be like, I'd be like, yo, yeah, send me more. You want to cook? Like, but not even on no, like, he wasn't trying to like, he wasn't being weird or nothing. It was just like, that was the right beat, and that was the one he wanted to send. And it was so, I was probably gonna rap on it no matter what, because it's Havoc, you know, like, but it was just crazy. So it just went from there. It was the perfect.
And that's pretty
thing.
legendary for you, man. I go.
Exactly, bro. Like,
who's doing the interview here, Calvin?
Nah, but it's a fact.
Nah, you're right though. You are right.
Yeah, and
You're
Havoc just not out. That thing that's cool about it too is like he's just not out here like giving out beats. Like I haven't really heard like a lot of people on Havoc beats. So I'm just honored, bro. Real shit. Like growing up in New York, you know, like Mobb Deep, that shit is like the soundtrack. I've always been the one in arguments, like before I even knew Havoc at all. Like on a personal level, I've always been the one in arguments being like, yo, this man's left out of the GOAT beatmaker conversation, producer in hip hop. Like he has some of like the like top 10 most indisputably recognizable legendary beats. He's got what, like 3 of them? Like 4, like, you know, so it's like, I've always been like, it was just a beautiful, crazy fire thing. And then the reception was so crazy.
Right.
And then that was full circle, you know?
It's crazy. You know what I just realized, right? With something that happened and just came to my mind with when we went to go do the Funhouse mirror show. I met this guy John at your show, right? You know John Mackey's son on Instagram. Shout out my guy John. But this is about you and him, because this is also how you've contributed to this show in a way that you don't understand yet. John actually has been bringing me artists for the past couple months from Griselda. And which led to Rick High coming onto the show. I don't know if that's out by the time y'all see this, but Rick High brought Benny the Butcher with him when he came. So indirectly, you're the reason for me having Benny the Butcher in this space. It's true. It's true. It's true.
I'm happy to do it,
because he used to work for Same Plate.
Yeah, but you know what? That's awesome, bro. Like that shit like that makes me happy, because like to me, it's like I really, you know, this is a culture and a community, and like it's like we all put our best foot forward and do those types of things, because you never know what the ripple effect is gonna be. Right. And so like when I hear stuff like that, it makes me really happy, because I'm like, you know, I'm really trying to be a part of something. Like, you know, I'm being a part of a community, not just come in and get my bag and then split. So that makes me really happy, and you deserve it. And and shout out to Rick High. We got a song together. He's the man. He's cool. So word. The
Griselda, and also when I had CJ Fly here the other day, he was also showing you a lot of love too. I know you. I know you posed that, but I think I like when your name gets brought up in the conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because I like giving people their flowers, whether it's you, the pro era people of the world, like people who really help shape like the culture, like, you know, what we were just talking about too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I like when my name gets brought up as well. I definitely, you know, I work hard, son. So, you know, nah, it's love. And shout out to CJ. I saw that. That was dope. Yeah, man, it's cool. And that's why I fuck with what you're doing, because it's like you do something so much, you have this many people come on, you're gonna create those connections regardless. Right, it's like, and what we talked about when I was coming up, and I'm still coming up and shit, but there really has been like a lack of spaces in New York. Like, because the internet popped off so crazy, and obviously like all the shit happens on the internet, but it's like, what are the common threads that are tying these different artists and groups of people together? So it's a cool thing. Like you cross over to a lot of worlds and show respect across the board, and then there's a lot of intersection. You know? Right.
It was interesting because we were talking about like kind of like culture before we started doing the interview, because since we known each other, we just kind of like immediately start talking about shit. But we were talking about like how it's hard to find authentic culture in New York, and you even brought that up when you were talking about your show, because we were referring to this place that our mutual friend Kenny had put us onto, and like I like this place. I haven't gone there fully yet just because I just haven't had time, but it's like a traditional Puerto Rican bar, like an abuela's behind the counter, and like when I walked in, I was like, oh shit, I've never seen some place like this before. And that got to like us talking about like Hell's Kitchen versus Brooklyn, and then like even all these other places in the city, how like, and I didn't realize it until you said it, that like, damn, there really isn't like true, authentic, like little pieces of culture like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a weird time in New York. A lot of people that I know are moving out, like people that grew up here, and it's definitely, it's a very, very weird space. I find myself even like ready to spend some time other places and like check out new spots just to get inspired and come back inspired, because the city is really not made that much anymore for like the people that are born and raised here. It's really more catered to people that are from out of town and that move here. And so it's like that just affects the fabric of everything, and it's really palpable. So when you find those little gems, like Kenny's putting you on to that, that's why Kenny's like, yo, you gotta come inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, because first of all, because he just needs sauce partners. But second of all, because because like you know, it's like when you find a gem like that and you know other people that are really cool and looking for shit like that, it's like you want to put people on. And it makes me really happy that you keep referring to like my show as one of those things, because that's what we try to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So create those moments for people and shit. So
it's crazy because like I even like you know, there's this block in Brooklyn that my boy lives on. And what I love about the block, and you'll love this too, because it's like that little piece of culture that's still left, is that every summer, right? And I grew up in this neighborhood too because my grandma lived there. They have like this little area right across the street from a barbershop where they just have like a whole setup where they just play dominoes. Yeah. And they have a big ass speaker there. Obviously in summertime they blast salsa music. And the thing is, nobody fucks with it. You never see it get touched. You never see it get messed up. Nobody steals anything from it. During Christmas time, they put up a fucking tree there with presents underneath it. Nobody... To my knowledge, whenever I've been there, nobody's stolen anything. And it's just a bunch of Puerto Ricans just hanging outside every single day during the summertime. So whenever I drive by that, that's like that one little piece where I'm like, that's the New York that I remember growing up in.
Exactly, bro. It's so like I'm from that era. Like I grew up in Manhattan Plaza. You know, it's these two buildings, and like there's like a playground on the third floor area. It's like a, you know, I've talked about it in a lot of interviews, but it's like Section 8 housing complex, but primarily for artists but you know, whatever. But it used to be like, I'm from 10th Ave, you know what I'm saying? You could go into the building at 9th Ave and you could cross the park and go to whatever. It used to be like when you're coming home from the train, you never walk from 9th to 10th on the ground floor. Yeah. You always go through to see, because there's always people chilling. And you come outside and you just shoot the shit, talking shit, cracking jokes, chilling, maybe catch a game of ball, whatever it is, for like hours before you go upstairs. Like you never go straight home because there's always people outside talking. And I learned a lot about life and about people and about human beings in those times. And now like that shit is just gone. If it wasn't there, we would go to the different parks all in the neighborhood and chill, kick it, whatever. So it's like, whether it's the block or whether it's like the park or whether it's the whatever it is, like that's New York to me. And that shit is like very dead. Like that shit is just gone. Like I don't really see that in a lot of places anymore. And where it is, like it feels like a relic. That's the sad part. Like it's not gone all the way, but it feels like it's like, whereas it was the norm, now it's like you got the people that built the culture of the space to make it attractive to want people to move here, to make people want to move here, that are now guests in their own space. Like now we're the odd man out. So it's kind of a sad thing that's happened here, and you know, but just keep it pushing, and you keep pushing that culture, hoping that it kind of swings back the other way. You know, you don't let it die.
Facts. And you are also, you're now pushing, you know, you mentioned sauce partners and shit like that. You do have your own whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Mom's Whiskey.
True indeed.
Mom's Whiskey,
yes,
right? That's
sir.
what it's called, correct?
Yeah.
Also, there's a great song, you know what I'm saying? He plays it towards the end of the set. That's how you know how popular the song is.
Hey.
Mom, so why did you decide to make your own whiskey?
Because that shit just sounded mad cool, bro.
Definitely
cool.
Some
fire shit. Like I have the song. I'm definitely a whiskey drinker. I have the song Mom's Whiskey. It was my biggest song that I ever did. Now we got some other songs that are getting up there with it, but it's definitely like the biggest, most, you know, notable song. And shout out to Dylan. Dylan is someone that helps me out kind of on my team for the last couple of years, who I met through these videographer dudes I used to work with. But he had the idea, like, bro, can I reach out to some distilleries? And like, I think it would be cool. I think somebody might be down to like do something small. And so he did. And shout out to New York Distilling Co. Like they were with it. And we just made it. And we made 2 batches so far. And yeah, we're gonna keep them coming, but we're keeping them still exclusive. It's like an expensive venture. Like it's hard to do when you're not like moving crazy units, and there's so many wild like liquor laws and stuff. But we're gonna keep them exclusive, but we're gonna have them keep on coming out. And it's crazy to see that idea go from something I wrote like depressed in my mom's crib because I stole her whiskey at 2 a.m. to like now I have my own whiskey brand and I'm selling that shit. And we just got the trademark on, like I own that for whiskey.
That's fire,
for
bro.
whiskey.
Congrats.
Thanks, yeah. So, you know, who knows what happens with it in the future, but it's just cool to see ideas through like that.
What has been the biggest roadblock with getting the whiskey out? Because you mentioned like the laws and shit.
Well, it's just like even with the orders, like there's certain states because of like old ass prohibition ass laws that you can't ship to. So there's like people in like 12 different states or something like that that are like dying to get this bottle that like can't even order it. So the market is like cut in half and people just want it. And that's really it. But then, it just takes a long time to get everything approved. There's all these, so it's just like long, but it's been cool, and they've been great partners, and it's been fun.
When's the next wave coming? Do we know?
I'm not sure yet. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta put it out with the album.
You gotta look out. You gotta look out.
I gotta buy a bottle, bro.
I gotta bring. Yeah. I should have brought some for you. I definitely.
So I want to buy a bottle, bro.
I love. Yeah,
I want to buy a bottle.
No, that's love. Yeah. No, I got you.
My shout out my brother Ramel. Our Friday ritual is like when we go out to the bar, we always do like the beer shot combo to start the night.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Before we go anywhere else, and of course stop. What are you laughing at, Calvin? And we do the whiskey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So one of these days, I would like to do a Momm's whiskey shot before I go out.
It's delicious. Well, the cool thing about it is each batch is a different barrel, and they send me samples of different barrels. So, and then I do the taste test with my with my mom's. You know what I'm saying? And we narrow it down, and then we like pick which one we want to use.
Okay.
So it'll never be the same taste or the same flavor, the same barrel twice, and it's like very like we picked it. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
So it's real special and cool and different. And they're both were fire. In particular, this last one was like super fire. Like I drank like a lot of it. Like I'd be trying to just like sit on it, not really whatever, but I definitely ended up drinking a lot of it.
You and your mom get drunk at these tastings?
Yeah. Well, we just be sipping and like, going through them or whatever. But yeah, I feel like this has turned into like you shouldn't drink. You should only drink in moderation.
You should drink responsibly.
You should drink
please.
responsibly.
Please.
You definitely should not drink and drive. You definitely should pursue your goals and your physical health. But then sometimes you just need a little bit of sauce.
Sometimes
at the end of the day.
you need
Pour up
sauce.
some Mom's whiskey. You find a sauce partner.
Sauce partner.
Sauce partner. I should trademark that. That's kind of good.
Don't know. Well, Kenny's gonna see it. Kenny's gonna trademark it first. Kenny gonna walk around. He's gonna be like, "You my sauce partner for nice." Slap a badge.
Yeah.
Slap a
that
badge
could be like an app, like for like finding drinking buddies, sauce partner.
I like that.
Like, very dangerous sound app, but we'll work the kinks out. Yeah, we'll
Tinder
work the
for
kinks
drinking.
out.
Tinder is Tinder for drinking, though.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody at Tinder is gonna watch this interview, and then you're gonna go on the Tinder app, and they're gonna have because I have Tinder. Fuck it. There's like a tab on it where there's like different people, like different things that you could do, and like different categories, and there's gonna be like a sauce partner.
Sauce partner.
Yeah,
that's fire.
Those
bro.
categories be OD weird.
You might have to cut this part out the interview. We just we just invest.
Yeah.
Because sauce partner. Because think about it. Like they have like Bumble for friends, bro. They have like Bumble for friends, so it could be like a friend thing where you just are like, yo, I'm just looking for something new in town. You know what I'm saying? It's understood that it's not a sexual thing,
right?
It's like sauce partner. It's like a homie thing. It's like, yo, we're just trying to get some beers or whatever. But it sounds, as I'm saying, it sounds like it's gonna bring the creeps out.
I'm literally like sitting here. I'm like, I don't know, this is a good idea.
But they all sounded like that, right? Didn't they in their infancy?
Right. I mean, the whole Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, all those dating apps, they all sound fucking crazy.
And not for nothing, they all do bring the creeps out. It's just a numbers game.
Not for nothing. I've never been on a good date off Hinge. Every day has gone into complete mental disarray.
I've never done the app thing, man. I never.
Because you're in a nice committed relationship.
It's true, but even before it's true, but even before that, I never did. I'm not shading it at all. Like,
hey, bro,
what it's the app thing is like. It's exactly like Facebook. When Facebook came out, we was like, yo, this shit is corny. What is this? Like, this is for herbs, whatever. And then within a few years, it just became, it's not whether you like it or don't like it, it's just what is. It's like the new space. And then I feel like that's what happened with the apps. When it came out, it was like, that's weird. And then it just became like, nah, bro, this is just how people date and hook up in this time, I
don't know. Maybe my experience on these apps is a little different. I don't know. Calvin's in the building. Calvin, you might have a different experience. Rob, you in a relationship. It don't count. But I don't know. I feel like, some people date like that, but I can never say, one of these girls is gonna find this one. I don't care.
What? No, do it. No, go ahead, bro. You on a roll.
I don't think I've ever, any of those situations that I've gotten into off these dating apps has ever ended well. There's one. She knows who she is. I fuck with you. That's it.
Yo, that's awesome.
She knows who she is. I fuck with you. We're still friends to this day.
That's
But
great.
like, I feel like you know what it is, bro? I don't mean to get into a tangent about dating apps here, but dating apps is just that like everybody goes into it expecting a different thing. And I think that's the problem. Like if the dating app had like one set expectation, like if you went to Tinder and Tinder was like literally all we're made for is hooking up, I know what I'm getting myself into. But then, like, the thing is, like, people be on Tinder. Some people want to hook up. Some people want, like, long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in dating in general, maybe this is a life thing, too, but, like, if you go into something expecting something, like, if you're like, I want a boyfriend or I want a girlfriend from this, right? You're going to kind of, like, overanalyze everything that you're doing on the app, and, like, it's not going to end up working out to be.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard of some, like, apps that are really straightforward. Like, some of my single friends were telling me about that. But, you know, I feel like it's interesting, like that some people like the allure of like facade. We all do to a degree, right? We don't just walk around just like saying exactly what we want all the time at every single moment. Like that's a real dangerous game. So like I it's interesting though because some people might go on Tinder like that and be like, yo, like all they want is to hook up, but they want the facade that's not all they want. In addition to that. They want they're like playing games with themselves, like, nah, I might actually meet somebody, but that's not really what they want. And vice versa. You know, maybe someone's like, oh, I'm only on here to hook up, but deep down I'm sad and lonely, and I really would be it would be dope to come up on some companionship on this app. You know, so it's like it's hard to like carve out those spaces because even whatever the premise is, you know, you gotta have a level of honesty with yourself and understand with yourself first, and that's a lot to expect of millions of people. Like that's gonna let you down.
Facts. I had a 4 a.m. conversation the other night with a good friend of mine, and she was like, the world would be so much easier if everybody just said what they want, right? Relationships, not even well, she meant relationships, but also that applies to like other things. You know what I'm saying? If you want something, just say you want it. Yeah. And worst you could get is maybe a no. Yeah. Maybe a slap to the face if you're a weirdo, but like, you know, that's it.
Yeah, I think to a degree, like but I think there's a healthy way to express what you want.
Facts.
And I think like too often, like we go the other way where it's like people try to be like, oh, this is like, you know, because being a dick or being like discourteous of somebody's feelings or traumas or emotions is like not the wave. Like it's not gonna help anybody. So it's like there's a way to like not be fake and be real and still engage in a caring dialogue. The problem is that like people just don't like the level of communication. I know you probably experienced this in the music industry. It is like incredible. It's like they let you guys work here. Like y'all got salaries and like real like the level of both like professional and emotional communication.
That's funny.
And I'm not just talking about like, you know, fucking writing emails proper because everybody don't have the same background, same privilege, exposure to certain types of things. I'm not talking about that bullshit. I'm just talking about like standards of communication that demonstrate respect for like other people. It's like so absent, and I wonder how it is like in other fields. But I talk to friends in other fields. I feel like it's like similar shit. I feel like we like all like got one big relationship with each other as like civilization, and we got one giant communication issue. It's like the downfall of all relationships, and it applies to just like our relationship with all of
everybody,
us. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. I do think we all have a big communication issue. I mean, maybe that's because of technology. Maybe it's because of, you know, how certain people perceive other people. I don't know. It's a little bit of everything, I think.
People got problems, bro. I don't mean to sound like, you know, whatever. I used to be a lot more mean, bro. I used to be like, yeah, motherfuckers just dumb and just fucking on some dumb shit. And now, you know, like I'm older, it's like life's hard. Like people don't got the same exposure. Like it is what it is, but you know.
How we went from drinking partners to the sauce partners.
This is nice. I like the I like how we're flowing in this. We're going to some interesting spaces. You know, I have, you know, I'm going to do some other interviews. They're probably going to ask me the same. I did a lot of interviews for How We Intended, like the last like album that I did. And it was like, for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like, they really, like, you answering the same questions over and over again. Like, whenever artists used to say that in interviews, I used to be like, nah, like, you know, come on, bro. Isn't it fun to go talk about yourself and talk about your album and, like, whatever? And it's like, nah, it'd be, like, the same things over and over again. So I told myself for this shit, I was going to be, like, more selective and, like, not, because it just literally, like you said, everything lives forever on the internet.
Right,
It's like, I don't
yeah.
want to be that open of a book and that boring of a book. You could go on and find 8 different videos of me answering the same 4 questions over and over again. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I like that we're getting interesting, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, in this interview. This is rare. This is rare footage right here.
Yeah, there's gonna be 10 years from now. They're gonna be like, yo, they were really talking about Tinder.
They were really on some bullshit.
They were really talking about some bullshit in this fucking interview. Like, what the, like, why were they talking
The
about
famed,
this shit?
the notorious dating app issue.
The dating
episode, the dating app episode.
of On the Radar.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I've gotten into this topic. Well, I got into an OnlyFans topic with somebody a long time ago, like a couple months ago. Bryce Oliver. It was just like, would you date a woman who has an OnlyFans? And I said yes. I said I would.
Yeah.
She's gonna be paying for my vacations.
Well, it's as if that's the only thing to decide would you date, right? Like, it's like that's, to me, without getting too deep into it, that is the issue with the premise of, like, you don't know anything else about that woman or about that man or whoever, except for the fact they have an OnlyFans, and you're ready to say that you wouldn't date them. I think that deserves some reflection. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
there are a
yeah.
lot of things that make up a human. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I do get that there are lines in the sand people just aren't comfortable with, whatever. But I think it's like, I don't know. Like, yeah,
I don't know.
I don't want to touch that too hard.
Nah, we definitely don't gotta.
Yeah.
We definitely don't gotta go in there.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the future of like New York music now? You know what I'm saying? Because there's literally so many different things going on. You know, like you have like people like you, CJ Fly, the pro era guys. Then you kind of have like the fashion killers and like the ASAP mobs. Then you got drill. Then you got like melodic stuff like J.I. the Prince, A Boogie. Like there's like a lot to kind of intake and kind of go into right now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Who knows, right? It feels like, I mean, I think there's always going to be, New York is always going to be at the epicenter of the culture. So, but I think now, with the rise of the internet, like you see, like people, it's not all about, things are crossing state lines. It's not about like the New York sound originates here. And then like, there's going to be New York versions of music that's popular elsewhere and in the mainstream. And that's gonna have its own New York flair. Like, I guess you could argue with drill, which was in the UK, and now it's like here, and it's got its own vibe here. And then there's always gonna be like, I think there's always gonna be like, heavy lyrical type of stuff out of here just because of the history and how it is. It's just hard to say. Like, I don't know the direction that that most of it is gonna take. I feel less than ever. I feel like the need to like make New York music. What does New York music sound like? Like,
there isn't like really a sound to it right now. It's kind of everything.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it's more about like truth and like the essence of what it felt like as a kid growing up, walking on these streets, and like the shit we were talking about before, culture, and that one block in the sea of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that feels like New York to me, and that's a voice, and that can exist over different BPMs and different instruments and shit like that. But it's not, I try to embody that voice because that's a part of who I am, and that to me is like my New York spirit. And I could do that rapping in the studio in LA or in fucking Atlanta or in fucking Boise, Idaho, or whatever, because that's just actually me.
That's what's actually you.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place for us to conclude the interview at, because we got to have you freestyle still. Cool. By the time y'all see this, the freestyle might be out or it might come out tomorrow. I haven't decided yet, but one or the other. Well, I appreciate you for checking in with me, bro. It's always a pleasure to have you come on the show. Before we sign out of here, anything else you want to let the people know? Now's the time to do it. This camera right here.
Man, while we're here, the album out now when you're seeing this. May 18th is the date. The tour, while we're here, tour, marloncraft.com. You go get tickets. We hitting a bunch of cities. Yeah, man. And then I'm coming with more. Like, we're not going to stop coming this year. We keep coming with more stuff. So tap in, man. Independent, doing it ourselves. So if you fuck with it, support it. Appreciate it. Love.
Get some whiskey whenever they drop.
When the whiskey drops, the merch, all that, man. We doing everything, man. It's just like, if you dig the music, give the music a chance. If the music speaks to you, I hope, stay around.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, man. While we're here, I almost said March. Oh my God. See, look, this
Don't
is the
bring
time
me back to March, bro. It's cold enough.
It's cold enough. Yeah, May 18th. While we're here, the album by Marlon Craft. Make sure you go check out the oh my, look, I'm tripping on my words. Check out the freestyle. Go run up everything he has out now. Go follow him. Go show him love. Support is free. Love is free. Mom's whiskey is not free, but you will get it anyway. Till next time, Marlon Craft on the radar. My guy.
My G.
Appreciate
Thank you, man.
Love.
Hell yeah.